September of 1953, and Roman Holiday had been in theaters for 3 weeks. The reviews used words like luminous and transcendent and once in a generation, and every one of them was talking about Audrey Hepburn, not the film. Not William Wyler's direction, not Gregory Peck's performance as Joe Bradley, which was graceful and committed and the best work he had done in years. Audrey Hepburn. Always and only Audrey Hepburn. Wait. Because what happened in the office on the fourth floor of Paramount's Melrose lot on a Thursday afternoon, what a man named Foster said, and what Gregory Peck said in return. And what Gregory did before the week was out would reveal something about character that no film in his 57-picture career had ever quite been able to show. Because character is most visible precisely where no camera is pointed. Leland Foster was a vice president of domestic marketing, a man who moved in the language of position and percentage. The numbers told him that the female audience was returning to theaters not because of Gregory Peck, whose name had sold tickets for a decade, but because of the girl. Foster had the data. He had decided Gregory needed to hear it. He said, "The film works because she carries it. She's made you look like the supporting actor in your own picture." He said this with the confidence of a man who believes that saying a true thing plainly is the same as saying it usefully. Gregory's jaw set in the way it went when he had been handed something that required careful handling. He said, "I'm aware of how the picture is performing. I was also aware of it in Rome, when I called William Wyler's office and told them to change her billing. Have you ever watched someone name a fact that completely rearranges the moral furniture of a room and watched the man who named it remain perfectly still afterward, as if the furniture had always been arranged that way?" Foster said the billing decision had been generous. Gregory said it had been accurate. He said the film was going to rise and fall on her performance, and everyone who saw the dailies knew it. What's your actual point? Foster's point was this. Paramount's approach was going to treat the Roman Holiday success as an institutional achievement to the studio's development of a new star rather than the story of a young woman who arrived, already formed, and had simply been given a camera and a good director. Gregory did not agree with it. She was not developed by this studio. She was recognized. There is a difference, and the difference matters to how she is treated from this point forward. Silence. Then, "I'd like to understand whether we are going to treat her as what she is, the most significant performer to emerge on screen in 10 years, or as an asset whose origin story we're going to manage." Can you imagine watching a man outline the terms of someone else's dignity in a room where that person isn't present to protect it? Foster said Gregory's opinion was noted. Gregory stood the slow, deliberate rise that used the room's full awareness of 6'3", not as a threat, but as a clarification. He said, "When you put together her next picture, call her what she is in the meeting room, and not just in the press materials." He left, without raising his voice. Because he never needed to. What happened afterward was quieter and more consequential. Gregory called Audrey in London, where she was resting before Sabrina. He did not tell her about the meeting. He told her the picture was doing well, and that people were responding the way he had known in Rome they would, and that she should be proud. He told her that in this industry, the story told about you in rooms you are not in matters as much as the work you do where cameras run, and that he intended to make sure the story being told was the true one. She asked what he meant. He said, "Nothing you need to worry about." She accepted this with the trust she reserved for people who had earned it, by being consistent over time. This is what it looked like when Principal operated before the audience arrived, not for credit, not for the record, but because some things only work if done without announcement. Share this with someone who has spoken for you in rooms you weren't allowed to be in. Subscribe to keep this era alive. And tell us, which Gregory Peck film showed you that the most powerful things a person does are the ones no one writes down? Every memory deserves to be heard.